there, I'm Ross Mountney and I'm the author of a couple of books on home education. Having home educated our daughters, we get asked quite a lot about it. And one of the things people always say to me, it's all right for you, you've done it, but what about me? Can I home educate? And that's what I try and answer here. I think people ask me that is because they think learning and education is complicated. But it isn't really. Schools have complicated it with their structures and their curriculum and their objectives. But learning itself isn't complicated like that at all. When you think about learning, if you think about something you've learned since school, like how to use your mobile phone, think that you didn't ever need teachers and curriculum and objectives in order to do that. What you did is got your hands on it, researched, asked people, usually the children because they tend to know more than we do about it, and you just got on with it, you experienced it. Well, most learning can take place in that fairly simple way, and you can use those approaches to home educate your own children. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. So think about how you learn, and also think about all the things that you taught your children before they went to school. Things like walking and talking and peeing in the right place at the right time. You did all that. You facilitated that learning within your child. And you can do the same with home educating, with a bit of research, a bit of support from others, and having a go. Now, going back to that support from others, that's something else that worries people, that they might have to educate in isolation. That is completely wrong. You don't at all. There is a huge growing community of families, many whom already home educated, some who have produced teenagers who have gravitated now into the wider world, gone to uni or are in work. And some people say that community of home educators is over 20,000, some say it's more like 50,000, some say it's over 100,000. So there is a huge community of people that you can home educate with. You don't have to do it on your own. If you get online and start to network, particularly on Facebook or Yahoo, have a look at some of the organisations, you'll see what I mean. It's quite extraordinary. You'll discover that there's this whole parallel world of families whose children aren't doing school at all, and they're still learning, they're still intelligent, and they're still nice people. And talking of community, that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about, the socialisation bit. That always comes up. Nobody says what socialisation is or what they mean by that. What they really mean is having good social skills and having friends. They won't have either if they don't go to school, will they? Of course they will. I don't know about you, but I think I made more friends out of school than I ever made in school. And you might like to think about the fact that actually having one or two really loyal friends who are committed to you and you enjoy being with is far better than 30 people you have to invite to your party because you feel obliged to and you don't really like them anyway. Children learn to have friends and to communicate and to interact and to be social from a social world. School is not a social world, it's a school world. Hardly anywhere is it replicated outside of school where you're frowned upon and talking to someone else who's not your age. So don't think that the school world is a good socialising world. It isn't really. Apart from that, most of the young people there, they don't have the social skills that we want our children to have. They're not going to, are they? They're not mature enough yet. You want your child to learn good social skills, to learn to interact, to make appropriate responses and be with others. They learn that within a safe environment, with encouragement, with a wide reaction of a variety of people of all ages, which is what you get in the home education community. That's how your children will learn social skills. And they will have plenty of friends because, unlike what people think, they're not sitting at home on their own learning all the time. They're usually out and about learning. They're learning with other groups of home educators, they're doing workshops, they're going to museums and galleries, they're engaging with other professionals, they're going on field trips and nature study and social events. There's so much to do when you're home educating. You're going to wonder how you're ever going to have time to stay at home and get anything academic done. They'll make friends from all walks of life. There's always the usual clubs like drama or football, other sports, music, gaming. Kids make friends all over the place, just like school kids do. Your kids would the same if they were home educated. So think about that support for a minute and don't worry that you're going to be isolated. You won't. The other thing to think about that's probably something that always crops up is how are they going to learn if they don't have teachers? How are the children going to learn without teaching? Now, I don't know whether you noticed your toddlers getting into everything, opening drawers, posting things in players and fiddling with your mobiles when you weren't looking. Well, they do those things not to be annoying, but because they want to learn. Children are born wanting to learn. The sad thing is, quite often when they get to school, it's so dull it just puts them off. So they are already learning. What your role will be is not necessarily teaching them. Like I said, you didn't need to be taught to learn how to do many of the things you probably do now. It's not going to be teaching them, it's going to be enabling them to continue to learn, to use their interests in things, to find out more, to research. They're already learning online all the time now, I suspect. They certainly learn how to game. They don't need curriculum and tests and objectives and stats and things like that in order to do it. So just remember that your children already want to learn. Of course they do. They want to get out there in the adult world. They want the money that goes with it. They're going to find ways to do it themselves. What you're going to do is bring them opportunities, give them experiences, take them places, get in contact with others and have fun doing it. That's the way they learn that learning is good for them and it's great to do and it enhances your life. Why would they not want to learn? So actually you don't always need teachers to learn. You need moral support, you need information. Again, I said you can dip into the home educating community to find all those sorts of things that you need. So that was what a typical day would look like. You'd be maybe doing a bit of academic exercises at home. People usually do a bit of that. Then they'd be out, they'd be going places, they'd be meeting others, and the children would quite often be getting on with it themselves. They won't be wasting their time doing lots of the school routine and processes like testing, for example, that they have to do, but you wouldn't have to do those. You don't have to use testing at all. That is another question. What about the tests and exams? Well, testing is a complete waste of a learner's time. And testing in schools is usually to do with the fact that the adults want to measure each other, which is not a lot of use to the learner whatsoever. When it comes time for exams, which you might be thinking about and worrying about, again, they are accessible to do as home learners. There are home distance courses, there are groups who are set up especially to do GCSEs, but there's also the other aspect of them that you don't actually have to do GCSEs. Ours didn't, and ours went to uni. Things change, so you need to check up on that. But don't be hoodwinked into thinking that having GCSEs is an education. It isn't. It is useful to show people that your children are educated to a particular standard, but it isn't the be-all and end-all of education. However, there are facilities for you to do them if you wish. Most of the home educated children I know did 4, 5, 6 at home and went on to uni and into work. So that's something else that you don't need to worry about. So, back to that question, can I home educate then? The thing is, if you've sat here listening to me gabbing on about it, and you're a conscientious parent, you love being with your children, you love showing them this world, and learning them about it. If you're a parent like that, then I would say yes, you can, because that's what education is really, showing the children the world and giving them the opportunity to learn about it, how they're going to live in it, how they're going to earn in it, and how they're going to interact with it. So I would say if you're conscious enough to do the research and spend time with your child, then yes, you probably can home educate. So all that's left for me to say is good luck with that. Check out my website and my books for lots more information, and just enjoy your child's education. That's the best sort that you could give them. Good luck.